It's giving me hell today. So good. Good live. All right. I want us live from everywhere. Then we'll get to it. All right. Here. We on deck. Let's go. Forget the intro. Let's just do it. Ladies and gentlemen, homies and homettes, children, babies, creatures of all kinds, what it do, what it do. Welcome to another version of Main Versus Machine. We about to get it popping. Real talk. That was crazy. That's when I know when the devil tries to attack you that you got something good for the masses. So we're gonna lose that little technical difficulty that I just had right there, which is I don't even know how that happened. So the topic, if y'all didn't see, I don't even know if it popped out. Shout out everybody joining in. What's up, Raja? Uh, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. What's up, world? I normally don't do these on Sundays, and the reason why I didn't want to project as if I was giving y'all church. However, God spoke to me like, if I'm giving you the word for me, what is it then? Quit trying to be and avoid being what I called you to be. And that leads me to the topic here. The topic was how to take the fight to the devil. So I've been asking God all week, these man versus machines. It just seemed like we always are on the defensive in life. Chosen ones, children of God. It seems like we are always on the defensive. What's up, Ashley? So I was like, man, I need something uplifting. Even if you're going through it, you need something to lift you up while you're going through it. Even if you up, I mean, when you up, you got those good days in life. You feeling some kind of way. Sometimes even when you up, you still feel down. You can have all the stuff and not feel adequate, not feel enough, not feel like you're doing what you need to do. Been in that situation. I made a lot of money and still felt like, I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do. I wasn't doing what I was put on this earth to do. Um, it's another thing when you're getting attacked constantly getting attacked. It's always something. Car acting up, kids acting up, family acting up, friends acting up, spouse acting up, girlfriend, boyfriend acting up, life acting up, police acting up, job acting up. It seems like as a chosen one, we come under constant attack. Constant attack. If you look in Psalms version of the Bible, it's mostly dealing with David when he was going through attack. And most people don't even notice when David was hiding in caves and stuff. He was writing these Psalms. He was dealing with Saul, King Saul, and his son Absalom. Absalom was one of David's sons that rose up against him and had David basically in exile on the run. He didn't want to kill his son. He didn't want to murder his own son or retaliate against his son. So he chose to flee. And so he was hiding in caves with his mighty men, with his group of soldiers that remained loyal to him, and he wrote the Psalms. So if you familiar with the Psalms in the Bible, most people are familiar with Psalms 91. I know that wasn't enough. He who dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge, my fortress, my strong tower. In Him will I trust. Surely He deliver you from the fowler, from the noise of pestilence, and under His wings I shall trust. His truth should be thy shield and buckler. Psalms 91. That's defense. Most of the Psalms you read are defense, but there's a few in there. There's a few in there where you go on the offense. You send God on the offense against the devil. Psalms 35. Plead my cause, O Lord, with those that fight with me, fight against those that fight against me is one example of that. Then you got, Exodus, where the Lord will fight your battle. All you got to do is stay still. This is what I want to teach you. Like I said, it's not milk anymore. It's meat. Meat. We need to start taking the fight to the devil. Start taking the fight to the devil. What's up? Punjaba. Who else on here? What's the deal? So yeah, we need to start taking the fight to the devil. If you're watching boxing, right? Floyd Mayweather was one of the greatest defensive boxers of all time, right? So most of his strategy was remaining good defense until he saw openings to take shots at his opponent, right? Mike Tyson great offensive boxer, right? You can't win a war by staying on defense all the time. Ukraine, for example, right? Ukraine is fighting a war with Russia, being attacked, right? Most of their strategy, because Russia's a gigantic country compared to Ukraine, has been defense. But you see, when a lot of the tactics that got Ukraine back in the fight is when Ukraine went on the offensive and started attacking Russia back. It brought Russia to a standstill, which is where they're at now. You play any sports, right? You have to score points to win. So you can't stay on defense all the time. As good as Floyd was defensively with the shoulder roll, he had to hit back. We got to start hitting the devil back. Sounds good. How do you do that, man? What's up, Nairobi? What's up, Asia? How do you hit the devil back? Becoming who God purposed you to be. What? I can end the live right there. Becoming who God wants you to be. That's how you get back on the offensive versus the devil. Let's go into detail. Though. I ain't gonna leave you just with that one. I'm about to just drop the mic and walk out the room. We gonna get into that. Okay. Put it like this. Um, the whole reason you go through shit in life, right? Now you see people who go through life, nothing happens to them. They get away with murder, literally. You know, karma eventually spins the block maybe later on, but chosen people are kind of like the people in the room. If anything, you out of pocket doing anything outside of the will of God, you hanging out, you doing this, the consequences usually comes to you, right? You can be hanging out, you could be the kid out of the group and mama gonna whip your ass if something go bad, right? If the police come, everybody in the fight in the party but you going to jail, right? The lights go out, it's you. It comes to you, but you see so many people doing all wrong and they suffer no consequences. The chosen people get the consequences, right? Why? Because God chastises those that he loves. He's gonna correct you from doing evil. What's up? What's up, Abel? What's up, y'all? Thank y'all for joining the live. Um, God chastises those he loves. So you're gonna get the spanking, right? Let me turn this mic down a little bit. You're gonna get the spanking. But it comes a time, right, where you got to start spanking the devil. The reason the devil attacks you, right, is because he doesn't want you to become the person God put you on this earth to be. Say it again. The reason the devil is attacking you, chosen one, gifted people, blessed, called out, set apart by God, the reason the devil is attacking you is because you are a weapon against his kingdom of darkness. He doesn't want you to ever go on the offensive. Russia, any army, right? The first thing another army does is attack the weapons of that country that they're attacking, weapons that they can go on the offense with. So the devil wants to destroy you before you can use the weapons to attack his kingdom. You're the weapon, though. He wants to kill you. This is why all this stuff happened to you, chosen ones, as a child. You may have been abandoned. You may have been abused. You may have been left for dead. You may have been beaten. Most chosen ones are the black sheep, right? You get the short end of the stick. Why was I born into this family? Why did my family do this to me? Why did my friends do this to me? Why do I feel abandoned, right? The devil knew in his demons, knew who you were before you know who you were, right? So why you see all these things right now, this is the age of enlightenment. This is the age of knowledge, where wisdom. Now you can take that wisdom and do what you want with it. If I tell you all this stuff and you do nothing with it, right? It's nothing. This is like if you read any book, right? If I go read a manual how to fix my car and I just sit there, right? Nothing's gonna happen if my car is broke, right? If I read a manual on how to cook and I got a cookbook and I don't use the recipes in the cookbook, nothing's gonna happen. Same with anything else. Y'all gaining all this wisdom. This is why y'all on these lives and looking at these lives, right? But if you don't apply the knowledge, right? So all your wisdom get understanding. Understand how to use it. This is why we're talking about this because like I said, I could have walked away after I told you, become who you are in God. And that's how you go on the offensive and start beating the devil up instead of the devil just kicking your ass. Um, you have to apply the wisdom. Jesus, Yahusha, it it was taken out. Some Bibles still have it in its total context, but he said, "You are all gods." And they tried to stone him and kill him when he said this. Yahusha, your big brother, said, You are all gods, but you should die like men for lack of understanding." Lowercase G, God. How are you a god? You are all gods. Remember when Kanye said that? I'm a god, and everybody wanted to kill him? Well, you are. You are. You're not the most high God, but you are a God. What do you mean? How am I a God? Who's your father? Spiritually, right? My father is black, so I wouldn't be black. Some of your fathers are white, Asian, whatever you are. That makes you that, right? In the spiritual realm, your God, your father, is God, which would have to make you a God, right? Correct. Same as above as below. So God is your father. There are people out here who spiritually are aligning themselves with their father, the devil. In that same conversation that Jesus was having the Pharisees, he said they tried to stone him. He said, "But you are not of God. You are like your father, the devil." So that's telling you it's two type of kids on this planet: those of the Most High and those of Lucifer, Belial, whatever you want to call her. Right? Their job is to stop you from becoming who you are. Their job is to do the work of their father, the devil. If you're on here, some of you might be devils. It's fine. I'm here for the children of the light. Who else on here? Tajahar, what's up? What's up, Mihar? I'm here for the children of the light. What's up, Zoko? I'm here for the children of the light. How you go on the offensive against life, against the principalities of wickedness in high places that have been attacking you, is to become who you're supposed to be in God. The reason you were put on this earth, walking your purpose. That's why the world is trying to destroy you. The world is trying to keep you from knowing who you are, because you are a weapon, not a punching bag. I go in the garage, I have a 100-pound punching bag hanging there. I can just beat up on it all day, right? That's not your job. Why do you have a punching bag? To get you in shape to fight back. That's why God lets you get beat up on, so you can get in shape so you can fight back, right? Every athlete, every soldier, whatever you do, you have to go through training, right? When you're in a fight or in combat or in a sport of contact, you have to get physically acclimated to what you're doing to be effective, right? I haven't played football since high school or a little bit after that, right? If I go out there now and try to run around, as much as I be in the gym, I'm gonna fall out. I haven't hooped in for real in years. I used to hoop every day, sun up to sundown, right? As soon as I get off work, I'm outside hooping. We will hoop at work, whatever, right? If I go on a basketball court right now, I'm going to pass out. Why? Because I am not in that type of cardio shape. So in the spirit realm, you had to go through these traumas. Don't look at the abuse you went through, the heartbreaks you went through, the betrayals you went through. We look at it as, and I'm talking to myself too. We look at it as pain and suffering. God, why did you let these things to us? Why He let you do these things to us? So you can be trained to become an active combatant and start beating the devil up worse than what he used to beat you up. If you never went through anything, if I never went through going to jail, if I never went through being cheated on, if I never went through being cheating on people, if I never went through fights and shootouts and all the terrible things I've been through in my life, right? Abandonment, loneliness, poverty, all those things. How could I talk to y'all? How could I relate to any of y'all that are going through this? I am an athlete. I just don't do cardio anymore. I got to get over quick now. I'm very strong, but I am not winded like I used to. I can still run around the corner, maybe like a quarter mile, but I can't take the mile-long runs like I used to. So yeah, I'm still an athlete, but not in shape athlete like I used to in my 20s. Pretty good for 44, but I'm not 20-year-old me where I can run all day and run all night. Ex-military, you heard that. So yeah, you have to go through these things that you went through so you can get spiritually in shape to deal with the combat that you have to do in the spirit. And it is combat. You are at war with your spiritual adversaries. You are at war. This is not a pity party. Satan does not give a rat's ass about you. He wants you to die, and he wants your purpose to die. And if he can't kill you, he wants to delay you. That's why you have all these distractions. Distractions do not come in ugly form all the time. Your biggest distractions are going to be pretty and handsome because those are the things that get closer to you than any outside opponent. So you have to go on the offense. My next step is recognizing who you are. You are a child of the Most High God, which makes you a God. You don't believe me? Read your Bible. Jesus said it himself. Yahushua said it himself. Emmanuel said it himself. Whatever you want to call him, he said it himself. And then he almost got stoned for it. And then he told those people that tried to stone him, "You're not like God. God is not your father. You're like your father, the devil. Else you would have received me when I was sent to you." And there's another thing too. And I'm gonna teach y'all this. You gotta get. How can I recite these scriptures? They're in my heart. You have to put the word of God in your heart. The word of God is a sword, two-edged sword, cutting asunder to the spirit. So you got to put those words in your heart. They can take a book from you, right? They can take a Bible. One day they might burn them all up. Y'all seen what was the movie with Denzel? Uh, and they took all the Bibles. If the word is written in your heart, right? You can regurgitate that. They can't take that from you. It's in your mind. It's in your heart, cutting like a two-edged sword. So when you go get attacked, you can go back swinging a sword, the sword of God. You're not fighting in the physical, you're fighting in the spiritual. Every attack you ever had, every person that was mean to you, angry with you, that was a spiritual attack on you. It wasn't just a physical person. You were dealing with the spirit, you were dealing with the demon, you were dealing with the devil inside of a person. Anytime you lashed out and reacted that way, that's what you're dealing with in the spirit. You're dealing with spiritual entities trying to have an influence on how you act and how you behave and how your emotions are affected. So the things, again, going back to what I was saying, the things that, what's up, Erica? The things that are challenging from your past and even in your present, right? Those are your boot camp in the spirit. Those are you being equipped for war. When you get out of boot camp, those of you ex-military, police, whatever, when you get out of boot camp, you still have to stay in shape, or you get lesser able to perform at your job and the physical duties of your job, right? That's why they PT. Not so much in law enforcement, but military. So yeah, PT to keep you at a certain physical level, right? So you're still going to get attacked, right? But you have to learn how to go on the offensive because you can't win a war strictly on defense, right? You can't. How? I can't win a fight if I'm just covering up, huh? If I'm just dodging and I never throw a punch, right? I can't win. You're not dealing with a human that's going to run out of wind. The devil's not going to get tired. He doesn't go to sleep. He's a spirit. He's an entity, right? So eventually you have to understand who you are in God, which is his child, which means you have gifts and abilities to take the fight to the devil. And this is what his job as a demon, as Satan, as your adversary, is to keep you from understanding what you really are, which is a spiritual nuclear bomb. That's how powerful you are. They want you to think that you just poor, you broke, you ain't worthy, nobody loves you, you're suicidal, you're weak, you're pathetic, you're the scum of the earth, you're ugly. That's what they want you to believe. They want you to feel those things because they want to trick your mind. But you are loved, you are beautiful in the spirit, you are powerful, you are mighty in the spirit. Why are you all this? Because God resides in you. That's why. Because God said you were. And if God didn't say you were and you was just average and you was just this, the devil wouldn't waste any time fucking with you. The world wouldn't waste any time trying to destroy you. You know why the 1% want to keep you down? Because if common sense and the human nature and human love in you, right, would never want to see people suffer, right? So if they can keep you confused to who you are, they can stay in power and keep people essentially spiritual slaves and physical slaves to the machine. The machine is not Skynet. The machine is not the Terminator. Not yet. They're working on it. But at the present moment, and from the past, all the way from the dawn of time. The machine is those things that oppose natural, God's natural law. Your natural law is to be loving. You know, your natural law is to be. It doesn't make any sense why the world is suffering and we have all this. Does it? Does it make any sense to anybody? But no one does anything. 8 billion people can't figure out how to get along. 8 billion people can't figure out how to stop poverty. How's that? We have everything we need. How is it that a few people have quadrillion, gillion more than the masses, right? Because they confused you to who you are. You walk as a sheep, as a zombie, so you can't get on the offensive. If I don't know who I am, right? Just imagine you in a fight and you know martial arts, right? And I take that knowledge of you knowing that you got amnesia, right? You the most baddest person on the planet, but I take that from you. A little kid can you a black belt, but you forgot that you are. You Bruce Lee, but you forgot who you are. A little kid can beat you up. Anyone can go beat you up. That's their job, right? They're weaker than you because the devil's not stronger than God. So his children have to be weaker than you. Only thing they know, they have knowledge of self, and you don't. And you, when you get the knowledge, you deny the knowledge by acting like them. Well, I'm gonna say that again. Yeah, go Lions for sure. What that has to do with anything, I don't know, but go Lions. um, so you have to understand who you are first to go on the offensive, right? That's just like sitting in the tank and thinking it's a Prius, a Toyota Prius, but you're in a tank. A Prius can't shoot rounds, but a tank can. You are a tank, not a Prius. You are a weapon spiritually, and you need to start acting as such and not acting like that. The reason you have all these distractions, right, is to keep you from being a weapon. While they're moving strategically around you and trapping you, keeping you divided, keeping you down, keeping you in a state of low vibration, right? They're making laws, they're making moves, they're setting traps to destroy you, me, and everybody else. However, they're weaker than you, but we give our power away to them. All right, so God is a judge. Let's put it like that, right? So in a courtroom, right, the judge sits there and he listens to all the information and then he makes a decision, right? Same as above as below. The devil is basically prosecutor. I told y'all the last man verse machine. If you haven't watched it, if you're not familiar with the Bible, Job, right? He goes up with the rest of the angels, Satan, Lucifer. They're having a meeting that they have, and God says, "Hey, what you doing here? Where you been at? Talking to the devil, going to and fro in the earth, back and forth. Have you seen Job?" So that tells you right there that during this council of angels, that the devil still goes back and forth. What he comes to you as, he goes to accuses you of all these things that you were doing, right? To God, which gives him legal right, and his demons and his spirits legal right to attack you, right? You not knowing who you are in the spirit, child of God, it's just basically essentially of having a public defender as your lawyer. So the devil goes to God, who's the judge, makes accusations against you. You don't know the law or what to say because you're not applying it, because you're acting like his children, which brings you subject to sin, which brings you subject to wrath, brings you subject to all the things the devil does to you. But you don't know how to reply or respond to it because you don't know who you are. Instead of being Johnny Cochran or whatever powerful attorney that's moving around right now, you are basically essentially as a public defender, and you're taking a Cobb's agreement. You're taking an agreement to whatever the devil wants to do to you because you don't know how to fight back in the spirit. So he is making his accusations. God is just. There's rules that he goes by and abides by. You don't know the law. So you subject yourself to the punishment that him and his fallen angels and his children fall under. because you don't know how to reply in the spirit. You're still responding like a non-God, and you are, but you should die like men for lack of understanding. Again, you are all gods. I did not say this. Jesus said this. But you should die like men for lack of understanding. How would I die from a God? Because I don't understand who's accusing me, why is accusing me, and what I should do about it. And even when you understand the why, because he hates you and he wants to destroy you, I just told you that. Because once you figure out who you are, you become a threat to him. Same as if I said, if you're a black belt and I took your identity from you and you didn't know you were a black belt and you just start getting beat up by everybody because you don't remember the skills that you have, you don't remember who you are. Neo, the Matrix, he was the one. You are the one. What did the agents? They tried everything, and that's pretty much. Y'all think it's just a movie? It's telling you basically everything you need to know about who you are. Neo's not the fucking one. You are the one. And the agents tried everything to do what? Stop Neo from realizing who he was. They tried to kill Morpheus. They tried to kill everybody in the set, right? Just so he can stop the one. What was the one's job? To awaken everybody. Well, it's not just a one. It's a bunch of y'all out here, and you're not recognizing who you are. You need to get off the defense and start throwing punches back. So when he throws one, you throw one back. Throws another one, throw one back. Counter, hook, punch. Can't stop her. And how do you do that? Becoming who you are, serving in your purpose, releasing the pain, the trauma that you've experienced, and embracing what it was. Boot camp in the spirit. Everything that happened to you that you lived through only made you stronger. It didn't kill you. It only made you stronger. Lifting weights is very painful when you start. Shoulders hurt. My shoulders hurt now from 2 days ago. Chest hurt. But the results is you get physically strong. Same in the spirit. When you start focusing and you connect yourself with the Most High, you start getting into your word. You start not even just getting into your word. That's very important. But having a real connection with him. You don't have to go to church. A lot of y'all obviously here. It's not church. This is just me telling you what God is saying. So you essentially say it's church. But connecting and hearing God, staying away from things that disconnect you from hearing the voice of God. That's like you being in a command center, you being in a war, or you being in a battle, or you being in a fight, or for those of you that are athletes, and you can't hear the coach, you can't hear the plays. You ever see in football when the plays mess up in the mic and the quarterback's looking like, what the hell? And they got to call a timeout because he can't get the plays. Same thing with you. You're in a battle, right? But you can't hear God. So you're not getting the plays of what to do. Well, you might not be going through that poverty. You might not be going through that bad situation, that bad relationship, that fucking with that narcissist, had you heard the plays coming in. Imagine being in a war, right? Firefight. You can't hear comms. You lose comms. Y'all, those of you never been in combat or been in anything situations, right? You watch movies. When they lose communication, it's a big, big problem because now you're isolated. Stop getting isolated. Have your connection with God so God will talk to you just like I'm talking to you. I don't speak. It's like, like some people, sometimes you won't be quiet in my head. But having that relationship with God where you don't have to rely on a church, a building. Not saying there's nothing wrong with churches. Always fellowship. If you can get around more believers or more people that's believing, just the positive energy, you know, and you got to seek those out for yourself because believe me, there's some churches out there that make you never want to believe in God. So, but you have to, the spirit, that's that connection. God to tell you where to go and who to be. Some of you got a church inside of you and it needs to be blossomed out. That's going on the offense. That's going on the offense against the devil. When you can, this is going on the offense because you know what it's doing? Even if it's one of you, it's waking you up. It's waking you up. Now I got more soldiers against him, against the spiritual principalities of wickedness, against these evil governments, and against these, well, maybe I shouldn't say that. I should learn how to rephrase these words. I want any black choppers outside of the house. So you can go on the offense against the powers that be, the machine. We'll just call it the machine. So you can go against Skynet. You can go against these things that are trying to attack you because they can destroy you. They can destroy your family. They can destroy your family. They can destroy your neighborhood. They can destroy your neighborhood. They can destroy your community, then your city, then your state, then your country, then the world. That's the game plan for them. And it starts on an individual level. How do I destroy the individual household so I can destroy the community and the neighborhood, the country, the city, country, the world? See, that's a pretty obvious game plan. Well, how do you fight back against that? By being who you're supposed to be, by being that good person, by being the difference maker. You have businesses, you have God's glory inside you, just needs to be manifested. But you can't manifest anything if you don't know who you are. Neo couldn't do anything as Mr. Anderson, could he? No. Mr. Anderson spent this time running around, right? You, Mr. Anderson or Miss Anderson, we spent our time running, getting beat up by the devil, not knowing you're more powerful than them. Like I said, the Matrix was them putting it in your face and laughing at you. Y'all thought it was a movie, blockbuster movie. And they telling you who you are in the spirit. And so once Neo found out he was Neo, he found out he was the one, he figured it out a little bit, even in the first one. When he figured it out a little bit, what did the agents start doing? They start running from him. And even the ones that was bold enough to keep attacking him, what'd he do? Fucked them up. You have to start punching the devil in his fucking nose and stop letting him kick you in the ass all the time. How is he kicking you in your ass? Because he's distracting you from your purpose and your goals. I'm a Lions fan. Thank you for telling me that. That go Lions, right? I could have sat up there and got ready for the game, got dressed, went out to the bar, watched this and that, took my mind totally off of doing what I'm supposed to be doing here, right? That's a distraction. Something I love to do, but it's draped in a distraction, right? What's more important? The Lions gonna play regardless, right? Win, lose, or draw, they get paid millions of dollars to play, right? What's God's job for me to do this? What's God's job for you? What are you letting distract you? What are you letting distract you from doing what you were purposed to do so you can go on the offensive? And you know why you get kicked in the ass? Because we run away from our calling a lot of times too. And so God will let you get you kicked in your ass so he can bring you back in. So he can bring you back to what he purposed you to do. When I was little, my mom used to whip my butt for doing stuff. And I couldn't stand her for it. But a lot of the reason I'm alive today is because of those butt whoopings that I took. Growing up, the runt of the family of a bunch of big, physical, tough guys, the baby out of the boys. From the time I could walk, I fight them tooth and nail. I couldn't stand it. My cousins would beat me up till I cry, and I fake it. And then when they get close, I slap one of them. Then I get beat up again. You know how tough it made me. So when I went out in the world, if I could survive them, I could survive anything. If you can survive the attacks that the devil been trying to do, you have because you logged into these lives. You're alive. What's up, Joe? What's up, Ronnie? What's up, Uncle P? What's up, Tyrone? If you can survive everything that the devil threw at you so far in life, right? You survived all of these things. Some of you didn't survive rape. Some of you didn't survive prison. Some of you survived the ghetto. Some of you survived corporate America. Y'all think the ghetto was bad. Shit, corporate America. I've been in both worlds. I've been in both worlds. Corporate America is something when somebody playing with your money and your finances because you don't want to be a part of what they got going on, or that's something else. Yeah, the ghetto ain't the only tough place, brother. I'm telling you, the world is a tough place. Some of you didn't survive car wrecks, crashes. Some of you didn't survive drowning. Some of you survived actual wars, right? And you here. And All those things that were trauma and bad, right, were meant to take you out, but you lived through it. Someone in this world can use what your story can change a life. Your testimony is going to, not could. Your testimony one day is going to change somebody's life. There's somebody that was homeless, been in shelters. Some of y'all been in shelters as a child and as an adult, and you made it through that, right? That's why I see a lot. Like I said, a lot of the only thing, the difference between successful people and unsuccessful people is those that give up. That's the only difference. Everybody goes through shit, failures, losses. It's the bounce back. It's the bounce back. You bounce back from all of that. It's somebody that's going through them things right now, maybe don't feel they can make it, don't see a way out. You have. You're that light. That's why you went through these things that you went through. So one day you can tell somebody else you're going to make it. You can tell somebody else it's a light on the other side. You are a walking testimony. And I know those things hurt you. They were designed to delay you by the principalities of wickedness in dark places. They were designed to slow you. They were designed to destroy you before you understood you are a weapon. Before you go on the offensive. Like I told you, military strategy. First thing when a country attacks another country is to destroy its weapons so it can't go on the offensive. That's why they attack airplanes first. Because what are airplanes? The airplane's job, basically, a military warplane's job is to go on the offensive. If you can destroy those, you destroy a person's capability to make war, for the most part. You, why you were attacked as a child, why you were attacked in your youth, why you were attacked before you understood who you are, is because if you ever did, if you ever figured out that you are a God, lowercase, and a child of the Most High God, which makes him your father, which makes you a God, makes you have the abilities. Jesus said this again, greater the works that I do shall you do because I go to my Father. So Jesus said, now, we're all familiar with miracles he performed, right? Why are you not seeing it on a regular basis if he said, y'all gonna do better things than I did? I'm out of here. I did my job. I showed you, I told you who you are. All you got to do is act like it. Why do you think we don't see none of that? Because you're distracted. You're distracted with what Cardi B is doing and Stefan Diggs is doing and what the Lions is doing and what Baddies of America and the Zeus Network got going on, the first 48, keeping you down here on a low vibration when your vibration should be up here. Well, so, why the church ain't this and this? It's in you. You ask yourself why you not this and this. Your words change lives. I don't know how many people is on this live, right? But somebody, what's up, Ever? Somebody, I remember my hunger hit me up the other day after I did this live. She was like, just want you to know it's changing. It's affecting lives. Appreciate that. It's good to hear. I mean, I hear it a lot, but it's good to hear, especially for coming from somebody that you know, because everything in the world is coming against you for not doing your purpose. Not always in an attack way. You see how subtle it was? Go Lions, go Lions. That's a distraction. Part of me, small, very small part, wants to go check out the score. Part of me wants to turn this. I can't see it. There's another TV over here. There's two of them actually. Well, part of me could be like, click. Those are distractions. They come dressed up as pleasure. You got to start understanding that. You got to understand how to start throwing when it comes to God, presenting your case against the devil and breaking these generational curses, getting them off of you. That's how you go on the offensive when you wake up other people. That was the whole thing the machine was afraid of. Everybody was asleep. in the matrix. They was all in the cocoon. Same thing in real life. Same thing in the life you live in. I use this as an example. The administration, orange fellow, was about to cut off welfare benefits, right? But there's a fund to stop that from happening. They wouldn't do it. Millions of people would have been out of food, right? They wouldn't do it. People knew that. No one acted. Happened to be two judges finally made a decision. The world was in a panic. How is millions of people in a panic by the decision of one person that y'all put in office? Denying who you are. Denying who you are. How is they have that much control over millions of people? How do the decisions of a cabinet of a few people, because they want it bigger, have the say so over millions of people? Doesn't even make sense. I don't want to fund this, so I'm going to let people starve. I don't want to do this, but I'm going to let people starve. But they out sending millions of dollars to other countries, building grand ballrooms and all this other stuff, but they have power over millions of people. You know why? Because y'all in the cocoon, still asleep. That's what the machine was afraid of. From Neo. It was afraid of Neo waking up everybody. That's what you are on the offensive. The fence is waking up people to the power that is inside of them. Everybody waiting for somebody to come out of the sky. He already came out of the sky. He did that 2,000 years ago. Not coming out of the sky to save you now. It's in you to save you. It's in each one of us to save each other as a collective, the body of Christ. I remember when I used to do this, I never wanted to talk about the spiritual side or the Christian side of it too much because I didn't want to offend anybody. No, it's crazy. That's fucking asinine. God gives me the ability to teach and I don't use it. It's crazy. Crazy work. I don't want to offend anyone. That's demonic. Because he didn't want me to talk and teach you fully what I can teach you, what I understand. How did I get here? How do I know these things? You know, first time I read the Bible, I was 12 years old, front to back. And I read it because pain. My neighbor died. He was my babysitter. He was like a big brother to me. His mom used to babysit me. He was like my big brother. He passed, died at a young age. Fell into a chemical tank. I was pissed. And I read the Bible trying to figure out how to beat the devil because I took offense to that. Like, that was demonic. What happened to him? What's up, Crystal? First time reading the Bible. Second time, I went to jail. So, why I'm telling you this is to understand your pain brings you a child of God, closer to God, because God will put you in situations where it's only you and Him. When your mama can't save you, your daddy can't save you, your sister can't save you, the lawyer can't save you, your brother can't save you, the U.S. Marines can't save you. God is going to save you because you're His child. He just wants you to understand that you don't need anybody but Him. Tap in. Tap in. When nobody got no money to bail you out your situation, and somehow you still make it. Somehow you still eat. Somehow the lights get turned on or turned back on, or somebody puts you somewhere. I done lost a lot and gained it back folds over. But some of them places before I got there was very painful. Very painful. But what did it do? It made me tougher. Getting my butt kicked from 3 years old and up by my older cousins made me tougher. I remember when I was a kid, I barely remember. I remember parts of it actually. I can't say I remember like it was night and day. But I remember I was little. I wasn't in school yet. And Adam and Andy, I get this. Uh, they were brothers, a little bit older than me. And Adam, if you're watching this, sorry, brother, I got to tell the story. So it was a sandcastle by our house. We stayed in these townhouses. Do they got sandcastles anymore? I don't know. Maybe they do. What's up, Josh? And I used to go play with them. They would jump me because they were brothers, right? I remember one day, I ran home crying. I don't even know if I could run that fast. But I remember the sand. I remember the grass, and I remember running and crying. And obviously, I don't know what they did to me. I remember what it felt like. Obviously, they beat me up. So I remember one day running home, and my mom was like, You come in this house, and I'm sure pretty much every black kid can tell you this story. I don't know what happens in white families or whatever, but this usually happens to us. I'm gonna whip your ass. I remember that vividly. I remember going out. I don't even remember what I did to them at that time, but I beat the crap out of them. I remember them running. That's what I can remember. Them running, and from that day forth, and we grew up together, same complex. I remember beating up Adam a lot of times. I think I had to beat up Andy one more time. The point I'm trying to make is it's time to put your demons on the run. Not saying Adam and Andy is demons. They're my friends. We grew up. We just fight a lot. But you got to put your demons on the run. You can't keep being on the defense. You got to start kicking the devil, his demons, those spiritual curses, those generational curses, poverty back. People say all these things, right? I want to be rich. I want it is this, right? But you keep a poverty mind state. You keep a poor mentality. How are you ever going to be rich with a poor mentality? You have to have a rich mentality. Not just rich as far as in money. You can't just do that because those are where those consequences come. And everybody else can get away with it. You're a child of light. You have to be rich in spirit. You have to be rich in joy, rich in charity. That's how you unlock things as a child of the Most High. Your father says your inheritance is a cattle on every hill. But living in a mental poverty state, a spiritual poverty state. It's times in my life that I align myself, and like I said, one of my biggest things was consistency. I aligned myself with God, and money and things just flow. I didn't even have to worry about things. It was a tax coming, but it was just like it was nothing. It was like a flea, like get off me. Like I was Godzilla. As I was Godzilla in the spirit. And that's what you have to get to the point to. That's what you got to get to the point to, is where you become who the devil fears. I'm gonna say it again. You become who the devil fears. He's a bully. And the only reason he's bullying you is because you haven't identified who you are. Y'all remember the movie what was it with Matt Damon, Born Identity? And he had amnesia, right? And they was trying to do everything they could to stop him from what? Remembering who he was. They did everything they possibly could. He was fucking them up. Remember who he was. The same thing with the devil and his demons and all these spirits and these evil wickedness things. They just don't want you to remember who you are. They don't want you to remember who you are because you are powerful. And what you're going to do? You're going to wake up more powerful people. And then the machine is in trouble. Just like in the Matrix. When Neo threatened to wake up everybody, the machine said, hey, let's make a deal. I done sent every agent. The agent then turned on me and started helping you. He done tried to tear up the Matrix. I done everything I can. All right, let's make a deal. Let's make a deal. That's what it's afraid of. That's what the powers that be are afraid of. You waking up and waking up everybody. He gonna try to make a deal, but you don't deal with devils. You can't make a deal with a devil. It won't let you. He won't let you. He hates your guts. Knowing something that hates you so badly, right? This entity. He's coming. You got to get pissed off about it. You got to get pissed off about it. You got to get pissed off from him swinging it. You're not even worried about him. Go find you somebody else to mess with. Nah, he ain't going to do that. Why you think he ain't going to do that? He hates you so much because he knows what you really are. He knows what you really are. That's why he hates you so much. That's why he hates you so much, because you are a reflection of God. You're a reflection. His light is in you. That's why the devil hates you so much. That's why he does everything to you. That's why he sent you those people that hurt you in your life. Yeah. He sent you those times that they hurt you. He sent those things into them to let them hurt you. He sent you those circumstances when the lights got shut off, when you have food to eat, when your loved one perished, when you seen people perish, when people done stuff to you, when people molested you, when people touched you, when people hurt you, when people beat you, when people left you for dead, when people left you to be alive and just barely that. That's even worse than being left for dead. you eventually, shit, at least when you left for dead, they think you're going to die. But some people want to live in misery. That's even worse. He sent you that cheating person. He sent you that person that lied on you. He sent you that person that lied to people, to your family on you. He sent you that person that got all these knives in your back. He sent them. He hates you. You got to get pissed off about it and want to put some pain on him. And you know the pain that you put on the devil? Waking people up, being who you are. You don't fight that fire the way he does it, by showing love, by pulling people out of the battles that they don't understand how they in them and why they in them, to bringing knowledge to them. That hurts. You know what hurts him? Seeing this lie full of people getting knowledge and understanding. That hurts. That hurts because he tried to shut me up. He tried to shut you up. He tried to lock me up and lock me away and throw a key. He tried to kill me. I don't know how many times. You know? He tried to break my spirit. I don't know how many times. He just sent more Judases and more Jezebels than I can even count. That was to break me, but he couldn't. That's what pisses him off. What pisses him off is that I'm still here. What pisses him off is that you're still here, that you're learning, that you're awakening, that you're going to become the purpose. We're not even talk. See, that's how you get you talk that talk. That's how you go on the offensive, because we're not. What if we are? You're woke now. You know how I know you woke? You still listening? You woke. If you just in the comments, especially to my TikTok, I want y'all to grow too. Just as this channel growing, I want y'all to grow too. So I'm gonna throw y'all some seeds real quick on TikTok. If you want your page to blow up on TikTok and grow followers and users, you need to interact when you on people's lives. It's a heart, daily heart. Send that out. I'm just giving y'all some knowledge. Throw some flowers, little roses. What's up, Aaliyah? Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday to you too. Throw some roses. My TikTok followers are that's on TikTok. Engage, and that will grow your followers. That gives the algorithm enough to know that you're somebody that's trying to do something, and it's going to grow your page too. Same with y'all on Facebook, Instagram. If y'all want to be content or influencers, engage when you on lives and you engage when you see pictures. So don't just stand there like deaf mutes. But yeah, you got to be pissed off. You got to be pissed off at all the things that the devil sent to kill you. But you fight him back not with doing more evil. You fight him back by bringing good into the world. That's how you do it. Like I said, I used to be like, oh my gosh, I used to dance around the God devil aspect of it. I used to dance around it because I didn't want to offend people. But every message I told you, it don't come from me. Nothing I'm saying. I literally pray before I start any of these verse machines that none of it comes from me. I don't want to not just the experience of what I went through, but I don't want it to be I'm giving you. I want God to give it to you. Move me out the way. Use me. Good. Jump in and you take the wheel. I don't want it to come from me because I want it to be authentic for you. I want it to be soul to soul connection. You know what I mean? Soul to soul. So even when your enemies see you, they gotta respect it. I tried everything to destroy him. He could have lashed out against me. That's something right there. That's something right there. It's some street shit. And two, when you could crush somebody and you choose not to, that's a whole higher level of warfare. I choose to show you love when I could have destroyed you. I choose to show you mercy when I could have tore you apart. No matter all the things that you did to me, all the lies you told on me, all the bad stuff you did to me, all the money you owed me and never paid me back, all the backstabbing you did, all talking to this person bad about me. Some of y'all even had some people even had the audacity to try to take your spouses from y'all. Somebody had the audacity to try to take your girlfriends from y'all, your boyfriend. Some of them did. And you could have lashed out and responded in evil, but you respond in love. Don't mean you got to deal with them again. Like I said, go back to the last blame machine, but you forgive. And so again, going on the offensive, I gotta dig back into the last main verse machine on forgiveness. These unfulfilled traumas, you have to come from a place of forgiveness first. Forgive people that harmed you, hurt you in your past, and forgive yourself too from past traumas that of things that you fell short on and things that you might have done to other people. Forgive yourself for them things for coming up short. Then you can operate. Then you got the codex. Then you got the keys and the manual to okay, I can operate in the spirit as a weapon. Just like if you jumped into a tank, who knows how to drive one of those? No, you need a manual. And the manual, the key, the key to ignition or the push start for you spiritually is forgiving people that hurt you and forgiving yourself for even putting yourself sometimes in those situations. Sometimes you couldn't avoid it, but the things that you inside of you that you have unforgiveness for yourself, that's a big key. People miss that. Some people don't forgive themselves for things. That's the key to starting up the tank. That's the key to launching you as a nuclear weapon in the spirit. You are a nuke in the spiritual realm. And what you're going to do is cause a spiritual awakening. That's why we're in the age of information. That's why you have the TikTok and the Facebook and the Instagram. You have all these things because the awakening's happening. You're seeing it right now. If you don't believe it, you can go look at the Quran. You can go look at the Torah. It's telling you all these things that are happening right now. You are in a war, and it's about to get deep. You got to wake up, or you're just going to be a casualty of war. And you could have been a cataclysmic effect to shift it into another direction. You're either going to get in the fight, or the fight's going to happen, and you're going to be a victim of the fight. I'd rather die on my feet than live on my knees any day. And that's what we're doing. We're living on our knees, and we shouldn't. We shouldn't be living on our knees. Why? You're a child of the Most High God. Why are you living on your knees? And you were called to be great so God's glory can be seen on this earth. It's a lot of people you're going to lose when you become you. When you become the greatest version of you, you're going to lose a lot of people because they're not going to want to see you operating in this because their demons, their devils can't handle the truth. They can't handle the light. There's a lot of people around you right now because you're covering up your light to be like them. You covering up your light to be around a bunch of idiots, a bunch of child of the devils, his children. You covering up your light. I'm hiding my light. I don't want nobody to see my light. I don't want you. Do you know what you're doing when you hiding your light? You hiding your greatness. You're hiding your breakthrough. You covering up your breakthrough to just be like everybody else, to be mediocre or subpar. That's crazy. Gotta get around more light beings. What's up, Dragon Cry? What's up, Chuck? What's up, Ghosting? Oh, wow. What a name. Yeah, you covering up your light to be like a bunch of fools. To be a crowd. Actually, just like my man, he said the truth. Fuck it. Yeah, you're covering up your light to be like a bunch of fools, a bunch of idiots, a bunch of lames, a bunch of cornballs. Because they trick you to think that being and operating in the light is corny. Operating with integrity is corny. Operating above bullshit is corny. The laws that God has written in your heart are corny to do. Yeah. They want you to be a simp. They want you to be a 304 or a hoe. They want you to be for the streets. They want you to be a drunk. They want you to be off drugs, off pills. Yeah, you know why? Because you're distracted. If I put you off drugs, off pills, off hoeing, and off hoes, trying to get them, and all this other things, what are you doing? You're distracted. You're living like them, an animal. Let's call it is. Call it fucking spade a spade. They want that for you. Why? If you drunk out of your mind, you can't be operating in your purpose or as the best version of you. If you always high, drunk, smoked out, chasing chicks and started chasing your purpose, which is going to eventually feed you. You're supposed to be able to live in your calling. Your calling is supposed to make way for you automatically. Automatically. Living in your purpose is supposed to provide for you. That's the word of God. God is cannot lie. Cannot lie. His word cannot come back to him void. You start living in your calling, your purpose is going to be for you. It's going to open up doors for you. But if you can't do that, if you're sitting with distractions, they want you to sit there and live in this low vibrational shit, watching a bunch of people fight in a mansion. That's why they put this stuff out there. They want you to act like them and react like them and do stupid stuff and sabotage your life. Yeah, that's what they want. You seeing millionaires going through it right now. Millionaires, two of the hottest artists at one time, right? Destroyed their family. Doing what? Living like living like trash, right? Destroyed themselves. And then they lead a bunch of other people to think that's cool until the shit blow up in their face. All right. Now everybody then turned against her. You a fool. You left your good thing. But it was fun when the music dropped. It ain't so fun now. Idiot. 6 baby mamas in 1 year. He's destroying his wealth. He's destroying his wealth with whores. Jezebels. What you think about to happen to him when child support come knocking at the fucking door? Well, this is what they tell you in your minds that think it's cool. So y'all can destroy yourselves too. Somebody told them that. They living it in front of you. This is why God put you through these things and let you see these things so you can operate at a higher standard. Talking to myself too. Because sometimes I go do shit too. No, I'm not perfect. That's why we here. This ain't church. This is the unorthodox church. Yeah. This the real. Where I ain't the goody goody two shoe. I'm the Dark Knight. I'm the Batman. I'm the Batman. I'm Bruce Wayne right now. I'm chilling. I'm Bruce Wayne right now. I ain't trying to save nobody. I gotta save myself. I'm just gonna enlighten y'all though. What's up, Dizzy King? What's up, Robert? Oh, we got the same name. Maria. Yeah. So that's why they got y'all. And I know a lot of y'all gonna be like, fuck he talking about. I'm about to go do what I want to do. Okay. And the devil gonna keep kicking your ass too. Until he gonna phase you out, keep walking you down, keep you on the defense, and you never gonna go on offense, and you're never gonna do what God put you on this planet to do. If you so choose to not listen and wisen up. Same thing for me. If I just go back to just being the old me and old versions of me, and that's the hardest thing, dying to yourself. But it got to come to a point where you get pissed off. Like, I'm tired of living like this. Why would I keep living like this? And I got an inheritance, a heavenly inheritance that I can manifest on earth if I tap in. Neo, you're Neo. Neo living in a sewer on a submarine type thingy, and he the man. He got tired, like shit. Why am I living like this? What we really eating? Yeah, this what y'all really eating? Slop, served up humans. Just getting mushed down to y'all. This what we really doing? Yeah, this is what we're really doing. Because we'd rather be entertained than step into our purpose. We'd rather be entertained into putting rubber to the road. Marisol, what's up? We'd rather be entertained instead of enlightened. We'd rather be entertained than enlightened. That's crazy work. They want you to think information is boring, information is stupid. Nah, they want to feed you bullshit. World's not as bad as they try to make it, but this is all they force feed you. And then they try to destroy the beauty in the world. Yeah, it's a reason why you don't see a lot of positive things. They make positive boring. That's a distraction. They make good boring. It's not. That's your purpose. That's your calling is to bring light and goodness and things into the world. It sounds crazy even saying it sometimes. That's the dark side. Everyone got one. It's like, this shit sound corny. You're talking about rainbows and roses and strawberry horseshoes, fucking leprechaun type shit from Lucky Charms. But it's true. But if I talk about drilling and, popping bottles and chains and all this, I done done it. You do it. But if we talk about that though, you get all the lights because that low vibration. They want to keep you there, keep you off your purpose. So to go on the offensive, you have to raise up your vibration. You have to raise up your enlightenment. And you do that by, hold on, y'all, on TikTok. There we go. Oh, really? Stop it. There. I am not a robot. Obviously, man versus machine. um, yeah, they do that. You gotta, first of all, get that relationship where you can hear God clear. But if you distracted in low vibrational stuff, how you gonna hear God? Y'all pray, y'all talk to God. Obviously, you wouldn't be on this live, but you don't hear it because you putting filth in you, so you can't hear. You can hear the bullshit that you watching, but you can't hear God when He says something to you. That's crazy, because God is the one that's giving you the plays. He is the general. He's the coach. He's giving you the play so you know how to move. Hey, don't go that way. Don't deal with that. That's a bad decision. Oh, go do that one. That's the door I want you to walk down. Don't deal with her. Don't deal with him. That's a wolf in sheep's clothing. I just ask myself, how I keep jumping in these type shits with the things that look like something on the outside, but they're not, because I'll get distracted. Oh, she fine. This, and this. Not listening to the coach. And you get distracted by things, low vibrational things. I can't hear the coach no more. But he would have told me, don't do that. That's Jezebel. That's Delilah. That's Lilith. Same thing with ladies. Same. Gotta understand. Don't go to that job. Don't take that opportunity, because that's just gonna bog you down. I want you to be rich. I want you to be wealthy. I want you to break generational cycles, but you can't do it if you're distracted. If I'm spending my time watching people fight in a mansion, how can I ever focus on building a business, learning the things that I need to learn to execute the business? I pray for God to be rich, right? But I'm not spending my time what rich people do, which is move commodities. Huh? I want my credit repaired. I want my credit fixed, but I never take time to sit down and even look at a credit report. I never take time to send out the letters. I'm speaking to y'all on a level so y'all can understand how but God, I need an 800 credit score, please. It's in you. It's in you. You got to start putting in the work so you can go on the offensive. Stop being on the defensive. Part of that, being on the defensive, and this might seem microcosm, a small thing, you not being able to access the things that are there, the wealth. You not being able to get a car. Why is that? Because you weren't doing the things that you need to do. That's the devil. That's you not going on the offense. You're still on the defense. You can't get a good car. No, you can't get a good house. No, you can't get access to credit. You still on the defense. The devil throwing things at you, because if you have access to the things that you need, you could build yourself up. How do you do that? By taking action in those, applying the knowledge and the wisdom that you're getting. Get the understanding of it and applying it. That's how you move. That's how you go on the offensive. You ain't got a car, you go get you one. Now you on the offense. That's a punch to the devil, because now you can make moves. Now you can go get a job. Now you can go start a business. Now you can move around. Right? That's how. That's a small level. That's a small level. Get your shit together so then you can move out of your environment around the people that have been dragging you down. See, that car got you that job. They got you that new house. They got you away from the people that had you just going out, drinking, smoking, out of them situations where it's a bad environment. It's a deadly environment possibly. So you start throwing punches in the spirit. You ain't throwing a physical one. You throwing a spiritual punch. When God taught, He didn't come. He said, "Let there be light," and it existed. When Jesus talked to the blind man, He said, "Open your eyes and you see." When He called Lazarus out the grave, He said, "Lazarus, come out." These were commands in the spirit. Y'all not commanding anything. Poverty be broken. And mean it. Believe it. Faith of a mustard seed. I am rich. I am wealthy. I'm a child of the Most High God. The inheritance of my Father is mine. That's how you going on offensive. But you know defense. You close. So all you doing, you broke. You ain't no money. I'm gonna go turn up. I'm gonna go clubbing. I still you on the defense. You don't even recognize it though. You don't even recognize you on the defense. Somebody got a little coochie for you. I'm about to go do this instead of doing what I'm supposed to do. Somebody got a little penis for you. No, I got got some wee wee for you. You're gonna go do that. Mess up your purpose or get caught up in an entanglement or a situation or leave your home like your favorite rapper did. You know, jumped out in the streets and now she looked like a whole fool. Could have left him if you wanted to, but fix yourself. Get your shit together. So what you just seen a devil, a demon assignment tell y'all to do, y'all just watch it implode before y'all eyes. So how many of y'all gonna get the lesson? They just bannered up, leaving your family and being a hot pocket, and that just exploded in that person's face. They just championed that to a lot of women. You know how you go on offense? The real women start speaking about being what real women qualities and characters are. No one's going on the offense. We just listening to a bunch of bullshit. Some of y'all is real women out here with real standards, with real qualities. Speak up. Here's a platform. Start your own platform. You want to see change, you have to make the change. Some people are just casualties of the war. Simps, tricks, hoes, busts, all that. You got to understand the difference. Which one you going to be? You going to stand there or you going to be the weapon that God purposed you to be? There is a God inside of you, sourced from the Most High God. There is a weapon of mass destruction in the spiritual realm to demonic forces in each and every person on this live, including the one that's looking back at me. Every single one. You're not a loser. You're not a saint. You're not anything evil that this world calls you to be. You're not defeated. You are great and you are purposeful because God said it first. May rest the machine. Y'all check me out. Appreciate y'all for tapping into the live. And those other two cameras. I appreciate y'all so much. Make sure when you see the lives, you can go back and see this later on today. It's going to be on my pages. Check it out on YouTube. Check it out on Instagram. Check it out on Facebook. Check it out on TikTok. You know what I'm saying? So if you missed the live, I wish y'all would have made it. But, you know, we're dropping content consistently. So when you see me throw that video, throw that commercial up, make sure y'all get on here, man. Much knowledge. Appreciate y'all all again. I'm out.